ellos les. Correcto, a ellos les. So if we ever use gustar, we have to use the indirect object pronouns. But in this case, we are just going to conjugate verbs, okay? So if I say yo, we have natoria. If I'm saying yo, you use an O, correcto. So we would have yo, natoria. Can you speak a little louder? Correcto. Vamos. Ay, perdón, you're right. You're right. Correcto, Natoria. That is correct. Actually, Natoria gets 2 Johns for that because I wrote it wrong on the board. All right, and the paper. I know. I'm so sorry. I wrote it right on the board, on the example. I wrote it wrong on the board and the paper. I am so sorry. Okay, classic. What did we just discover? That I did something wrong. That is true. And what did we discover that I did wrong, David? The AR endings. Okay, clase, entonces, en tu papel, on your paper, everyone, we're going to take this off. And we're going to add natoria. Do you remember what it is? Amos, muy bien. And what do we have here, David? A-N. And what do we have over here? Clase, raise your hand. We'll go back to Nikira. O, so that's correct. What do we have here? Vamos con Vicente.
2.
And what is the ending for tu? Raise your hand. Autumn. As, okay? And what do we have at the ending here, David? Muy bien. Okay, gracias, clase. Please make these corrections right now on your sheet. Thank you. All right, gracias. Muchísimas gracias, Natoria. You were right. I was completely wrong. Okay. All right, clase. Entonces, we are going to be working on the verbs that we have right here. We are going to start with yo bailo. Okay, yo bailo, clase. Yo bailo. Yo bailo. What am I saying, clase? Ramir. I dance. Okay, clase, yo bailo. Yo bailo. Repitiendo después de mí. Yo bailo. Okay, we are going to go with Len. ¿Tú bailas? ¿Tú bailas? ¿Sí bailas? ¿Sí bailas or no bailas? No. So you're going to say no, yo. Yo. Bailo. Muy bien. Yo no bailo. Okay, clase. Repitiendo. Yo no bailo. Repitiendo, clase. Yo no bailo.
Yo no bailo.
Muy bien. Yo no bailo. Michaela, what did Wallet just answer? Yes, he said he does not dance. Muy bien. Yo no bailo. But if I said that I dance, right? I said that I dance. So how did I say that, clase? Raise the hand, Nikira. How did I say I dance? Yo bailo. Muy bien. Yo bailo. Justin, Justin, ¿tú bailas? ¿Tú bailas? ¿Sí? Okay, frase completa, complete phrase. ¿Tú bailas? ¿Sí o no? And so you say, yo bailo. Muy bien. Yo bailo, clase. Yo bailo. Yo bailo. Okay, so now we're going to look at, looking at this sheet. Yes, Michael, here you go. Looking at your sheet in front of you, your guided notes. Gracias. Looking at your guided notes, we have a series of AR verbs, and these are regular verbs. Clase, what is a regular verb? ¿Qué es un verbo regular? ¿Qué es un verbo regular? Vicente, ¿qué es un verbo regular? ¿Qué es? What is a regular verb? Matt, ¿qué es un verbo regular? A regular verb. Correcto. Vicente, ¿qué es un verbo regular? What she said? Matt, can you say it a little louder?
A regular gerund, it follows the rules of grammar.
Okay, a regular verb, right? And so, Vicente, ¿qué es un verbo regular? Correct. It follows a set pattern. It follows a set pattern. Is gustar a regular verb? Do we conjugate gustar like a regular verb? Sí, clase, or no, clase? No, we do not conjugate, no, clase. We do not conjugate gustar like a regular verb. That is correct. We do not conjugate it like a regular verb. We conjugate gustar with, what do we conjugate gustar with?
Indirect pronoun.
Correct, indirect pronouns. Terrell is our expert on indirect pronouns. So, whenever we need to know that, correcto, Terrell. Okay, indirect pronouns, object pronouns. So that is what we use to conjugate gustar. But on your sheet, you have a list of verbos regulares, regular verbs for activities. And I know that you studied these yesterday with Profe Yulsen, right? You studied these yesterday? So, here are the rules for conjugating verbs. It is a refresher. We take a regular verb. We have nadar. Clase, ¿qué es nadar? Eddie, ¿qué es nadar? What does nadar mean? ¿Qué es nadar?
Swim.
To swim. Muy bien, gracias. So, can someone explain to me what we are doing in this step right here? What are we doing in the second step? Nikita. Good, we are dropping the AR. Justin, what did Nikita just say? What are we doing in part number 2? Good, we are dropping the AR, and then here what are we doing, clase? Let's go with Yasan. What are we doing in the third step? We are adding the endings, correcto. So here we have the endings, and on your sheet they are labeled. We have yo is o. Repitiendo, yo, o. Muy bien, yo, o. Tú, has. Muy bien. Él, ha. Nosotros, amos. And then, ellos, han. Good. So these, we have o, as, a, amos, an. Repitiendo, o. Repitiendo, o. As, a, amos, an. Muy bien. Okay, gracias, clase. Those are the endings. So, we are with the partner, with the person sitting next to you, with the person sitting next to you. Eddie, I'm going to have you move up here by Ramir. Okay. With the person sitting next to you, you are going to turn to them and follow the example I am doing with lead. We are going to go through each of these verbs right here for, well, as many verbs as you can do in 2 minutes, okay? So I'm going to say, let's look at the first one. I say, yo bailo. Lead. ¿Tú bailas? And Led is going to say, yo. Led doesn't like to dance. So if you don't dance, you say, yo. Clase, if we are saying, I do not dance. Let's go with you, Autumn. Gracias, John, for helping out your friend. Yo no bailo. Okay. And then, Led is going to repeat back to me. Clase. Clase. Ojos. I'm giving the directions, and we are going to do this with the partner right now, so it is important that you pay attention. Gracias, clase. Okay, clase. So, I'm saying, yo bailo. Led, ¿tú bailas? And that says, a little louder. Yo no bailo. So then, Led is going to ask me the next verb. What is the next verb on the sheet? Cantar. Muy bien. Cantar is the next verb on the sheet. So Led is going to ask me if I sing, right? And he's going to say, tú. Canta. Tú. What do we have on there? For the, what is the second person? Tú. Silencio. Led is answering. Muy bien. ¿Tú cantas? Right, we have to ask a question. ¿Tú cantas? And I'm going to say, no, yo no canto. Yo no canto. Okay, so you're going to go back and forth with the partner, 2 minutes, okay? Devin, what are we doing? Can you repeat what you
Your
just said?
partner is gonna do these verbs, and then you go back and do.
Correcto, with the yo and the two forms. Okay, 2 minutes. Empezamos when I say vamos. ¿Listos? ¿Preparados? Vamos. Empiezan. Choose the person next to you. Rodney and Nakira are started on the questions. Terrell and Led have started asking each other questions.
I'll say
You were correct, that is me gusta. But here we are doing cantas, right? You're just conjugating this, right? We're not using gustar. Good. Tú cantas. You could use me and te. Remember when we were using the verb gustar, right? But this, we are not using gustar. We are using, this is the verb, right? Okay, correcto. So remember, you were correct. Gustar takes the indirect object pronoun. But in this sense, we are not using gustar. You are just saying I dance. It's not I like to dance, it is I dance. So when we do that, we take off the endings and we follow the pattern that's right there. Okay? Raise your hand if you need more help, okay? So let's do, let me see, yes, and ask Vicente if he, let's do this one. Ask Vicente if he rests. Ask Vicente if he rests. So you're asking him, so if you're saying you. Good, muy bien. Descansas? Yes, that's a hard one to pronounce. So why did I say ask at the end? Correcto, correcto. So it's the two form. And then Vicente, your response? Right, yes, that is correct, but we're not working on me gusta right now. We're working on just the verb. So you're going to say yo. No, not gustar, yo. Correcto, ya está, correcto. Clase ojos. Ojos, 3, 2, 1, ojos. Atención, clase ojos. So we have had some questions. There's some confusion about whether or not we are using gustar. We used gustar yesterday. And what do we do when we use gustar? Someone other than Terrell? When we use gustar, Tiara, when we use the verb gustar, what do we use to conjugate the verbs? When you use the verb gustar, it starts with an I. Vicente. You can answer and then we'll go back to Tiara. Object pronouns. Tiara, what do we use when we use the verb gustar? Good. Indirect object pronouns. Clase, are we using the verb gustar in this activity? Sí or no? Move your head. Sí or no? Are we using? No. No. We are not using the verb gustar, which means we are not using indirect object pronouns. Okay? We are not using indirect object pronouns because we are not using the verb gustar. In this case, we are conjugating the verbs that end in ar. So when we conjugate a verb, right, we are changing the verb itself, the action word, so that it fits the sentence, right? We have to conjugate it so that it fits the sentence. Because we don't say, I likes to dance, right? I likes to dance. We say, I like to dance, right? So that is conjugating the verb. It's changing that action word to like. Well, in that case, I'm sorry, that was a bad example because I used gustar. But in that case, we have to change, right, the S, the ending at the end of the verb. So in this case, how are we changing the endings? How are we changing the endings, clase? Raise the sign hand. How are we changing the endings in a verb? David? By dropping the AR, correcto, because we're working on errors. And you can stay sitting here. Yes, I'd like to keep you up closer in front. So thank you. It's nice to have you up in front. Okay. All right, classes. So David is correct. We are dropping the AR because we are working just with the verb. We are not working with gustar. We are working only with the verb. Correcto? Okay. So let's do another example all together as a class. I'm going to go with Michael. Michael, ¿tú dibujas? Clase silencio work. I'm going to model with Michael, and then if you have any more questions, raise a hand. So Michael, ¿tú dibujas? Yo no dibujo. Muy bien. Okay, yo no dibujo. Okay, Michael, ask Camille if she swims. Ask Camille if she swims. Muy bien, correcto. Can you repeat that louder, Michael? Tú nadas. Muy bien. John for that, Michael. Muy bien. Tú nadas. Okay, and Camille, your response. Okay, that is correct. If we use the verb, gustar, that was completely correct. No me gusta nadar. But if we are conjugating